Outer Orange.
Worlds is happening on January 28th, 2023. And we just got the ban list that will start on January 27th, 2023. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, guys. We are here to discuss the ban list. Let's go ahead and do it. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. Follow me on all my medias. Let's go ahead and get going. We've been waiting for this. I'm here. I'm using DF's post this time because there's a lot of like mix-ups going on about which one's the real one. I don't know. There's some stuff going on. I just woke up. Let's go ahead and go through the rules of what happened. And by the way, I want to make some clarification. So literally yesterday I made a prediction post within my mods chat, and my prediction post, let me should I just show it to y'all? I'll just show it to y'all. And pretty much my predictions was Colossus banned, same things as D, but it's pretty much for Japan, Japan's ban list. And I said Stunverse banned. Let's see how close I got it. Like, this was yesterday at 11:37. So we got the fighters rules updates. As I mentioned, January 27th, 2023 was pretty much where these rules are changing. Go ahead and start with standard. So standard got the exact same unrestrictions that Japan got. So we are getting the Dark Strain Dragon unrestricted, which thank God, that should have never been restricted to begin with. At least over here in EN, that card was like never an issue, right? And then we also got the Magnolia and the Inlet unrestricted. This one's an interesting one. I wasn't really a fan of this getting unrestricted to begin with, like no matter the situation. I remember someone in my comments actually brought this up, and like that this was going to happen under predictions, and then it didn't happen in Japan, so that was kind of interesting, right? So yeah, so we pretty much got that happening. I don't know how I like or don't like that. I don't know. I Magnolia was kind of like the best deck for like a good while, right? So it's kind of hard to say like where she's gonna fall into all of these other decks, right? But I feel like she's gonna keep up pretty well. Very good late game, and now with like a bunch of new cards coming out too. Very good early game too now. So there's been there might be some trouble. I don't know how good or bad this is going to be. I don't know, something about this card and Inlet together has just caused a lot of problems because of the recursion and the intercepting, all the stuff that it enables. So we'll have to see, and it picks along with this, but you know, space is kind of tight. You can only fit so many cards, and having to put Inlet back in means you have to cut back other cards again. So we'll have to see exactly sort of where this falls into place over time. So I'm not like 100% like into the whole Inlet unrestriction, but I'm not really against it either. I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know, like it can't be that, it might not be that bad. I don't know, maybe I'll eat my words like a year, I don't know, but we got like a month to really to think about that. English, it doesn't have Jet yet though, so I will say like I feel like Magnolia might do a little bit better early on, and maybe she'll fall off a little bit later, but then there's new cards coming out. I don't really know, we'll see sort of how this is happening, but I expect Inlet to now be like $99 again or something like that, because you know it was already expensive, but it wasn't that expensive, and now that there's another deck that Inlet can be used in again, you know, price might be going up again. But very happy for Bastion players. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, no, sorry, not you're welcome, but thank you I'm sure the Bastion players are saying you're welcome, right? Because they got the Dark Stream back, so at least for like a month they can actually we're getting the new cards anyway, but at least people can play their deck again normally. Like honestly, Bastion wasn't really doing anything too crazy to begin with, but now they have access to Dark Strain again, so yay to them. Let's go over to V. V and Premium I believe are next, so let's go ahead. So same exact date here. So here it is. So this is Gear Chronicle over in V. Colossus got restricted, so you can no longer use Colossus in Gear Chronicle at all, which thank God. I kind of expected this to be the first hit for Gear Chronicle people to get. Like I expected this to be the hit first, and then maybe other stuff might come along the way if there's still some kind of issues. So this is exactly what I expected to see, and the reason being was it makes sense. I know people wanted Trahana to be hit as well, and I get that. People are and the argument is like the deck is still going to be good, which is true. It is still going to be good, but it will no longer be like a tier 0 deck. There will be other decks that can also contest it, and I think that's like the big thing to keep in mind. Like yeah, the deck will be strong. It'll have like its like really powerful like plays, and sometimes it might be like a little unfair. I'm not 100% sure exactly where to fall. I think it depends on the deck you're playing. If you're playing a good deck, I think you won't have as much trouble. If you're playing like a more niche deck or kind of like a more casual deck, you might still struggle into this deck, like because this deck will still have better farming tools as long as they hit their pieces. If they still miss every Year Cat and they don't see a Johanna in time, the deck will fall apart. But if they do start seeing those conditions and they do start seeing all that stuff, you know, the deck will get very oppressive. The only thing is the deck kind of lost a quote-unquote win con. It got a more stable plan now. It can run like better, it can run other cards that isn't Colossus, right? So they can run like more Reanimate Dragon, or they can run like other things. They can run like other stuff in those slots. Like there's a couple other options. There's anything too crazy in Gear Chronicles pool that fits into this. There's also the Glissa engine. People can run that now because, you know, again, Colossus is gone, and you have like those 1 to 2 slots of just like that you can fill up now with like whatever you want, right? So you have options. And it's kind of just I think the deck will still be a good deck to take competitively. It just won't be the only correct deck to take competitively, so we'll have to see sort of where all that goes. But over to premium now. So premium, I actually was only expecting the Stunverse to happen. Like my thought was not really so much Stunverse, or just the one I chose because I figured that's the one like that would be chosen, but my thoughts were actually like something Narukami is probably going to get hit, and that's actually kind of what I was saying for a while. I'm not the Narukami guru master person. I don't know what the correct hit would have been. However, I've read a lot on other Narukami players discussing that they wanted Vowing Saber reverse hit, and I read the conversations people have been having, and that made sense to me. The Vowing Saber reverse being restricted or banned or something in premium made sense to me, maybe over the Stunverse restriction. Now keep in mind it got restricted to 1 copy, so you can still play 1. It's not fully banned. The Colossus in Gear Chronicle actually got completely utterly banned, which I'm actually surprised about. I didn't think that Gear Chronicle was as oppressive as apparently it is, but you know, it is what it is. The deck's strong. The deck's good. I just wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting to be hit like this soon. I thought it might happen a little bit later, but I'm glad, I guess, because you know, I guess if you take Narukami out, it makes Gear Chronicle better, right? So because Gear Chronicle is obviously already pretty good into Narukami because of the binding mechanic, but now lowering both of them will be good. The only issue with this is I feel like decks like Bermuda Triangle are really gonna start like rising. They have less things that were stopping them now, so they can kind of just do their. But anyway, other than that, overall, I'm actually really happy with these restrictions. I was expecting it to kind of look like this, and I got exactly what I was expecting. The only thing is I thought Stunverse was going to get banned, and it got restricted to 1, and I wasn't expecting the Colossus in premium. I was only expecting any of these. So that's the only 2 differences based off my list. I also thought they might unrestrict something. That was actually the other thought that it might happen, but I wasn't 100% on that. It was just like a thought. Like it was like oh, they might do this. Like it wasn't like a super maybe. Like I said, there's like kind of like the 2 options that we discussed on stream and on YouTube. Like, you know, they can if they want to help V a little bit more. I don't know if it'll help or not, but they could unrestrict something to kind of balance V more for other decks to kind of deal with it. But I just think the best solution for V is to make the other clans have better cards, and that way it's so early. That way like other clans can keep up, because right now we still have like the best decks that's been the best decks to take, and then there's like all these other clans that are just like barely keeping up, right? So that's kind of where V is right now. There's these insanely like decently good decks that all have like really good cards in them, and the really good cards are kind of carrying them, making the overall deck good, right? And then you have like all these other clans, like a good like 10 of them, maybe even 15, that are just like barely trying to keep up, and that I would like to see that change over time, but we'll see. We'll see kind of where the meta will form. Worlds is going to be really interesting because now everyone that's testing is going to be testing with the restriction list in mind. So Worlds is going to be really cool. We're going to see completely different worlds, right? Like especially even D might be different. Like there might be like a ton of Magnolia now coming through for against Youthberg. Like we're gonna be in a completely different meta from Japan too. So Japan has Jet, and they're also getting the unrestricted list, but they also have Jet. Jet is different. Jet makes the format different, along with Monster Strike, right? We don't have any of that. Our strongest quote-unquote deck is like pretty much Youthberg and like Overlord, right? And like Ava and stuff like that, right? But now we're gonna have Magnolia too, but we're not gonna have Jet or Monster Strike. So we have literally a different format that will be going into Worlds versus anything that Japan has had in the last couple months. So it's gonna be really cool to see. And then for V, like I said, it's gonna be nice to actually see other decks come up like Anj and Luarg now, because those decks will definitely be showing up more. Davos will be showing up more. We'll be seeing more of those decks now. Your Chronicle will still show up, but we'll be seeing more of the other decks too, and they'll actually be like a more fair match now. So it's gonna be probably like best 5 decks fighting each other now versus just Steam Maidens and like Bundy, right? So it'll be really cool to see. And then Narukami, that hit just slows down Narukami, but it doesn't mean that, you know, the clan's gone. And also it gives more opportunity for other clans to stay more oppressive. Clans like Grand Blue as well will have a better time into Narukami now. They already had a pretty good time into it. It wasn't a terrible matchup, but now they cannot worry about getting Sunburst over and over again. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful end of the year. Stay awesome, stay great, subscribe, shop at 50cards.shop for anything that you may need for your cards and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, especially with Worlds coming around the corner, you may need to adjust your decks a little bit there. So 50cards.shop, code orange. On that, guys, bye, peace out, do svidaniya, see you later, bye.